Hello students and welcome to the lecture. So students, as we know that we are covering the topic of national integration, right? This is the topic on which we have been discussing. Basically within this topic, these all are the topics that we have scheduled for the discussion, right? Starting with the introduction part. Thereafter the meaning of national integration, aims of national integration, role of various factors in promoting the national integration, obstacles to the national integration, National Integration Council, and the National Foundation for Communal Harmony. Okay, so these all are the topics that we have scheduled for the discussion. If we talk about the topics that we have covered so far, so we have done with the introduction part. Okay, we have done with the formal definitions and the formal meaning of the national integration. Even we have done with the aims of national integration, which means why we are working for the national integration. The topic on which we have been discussing right now, that is the role of various factors in promoting the national integration. The topics that we are left with is the obstacles to the national integration, National Integration Council, National Foundation for Communal Harmony. All right. So this is the picture that we have created so far all together. All right. So I hope that you have revised the previous lecture in the well enough manner before you have come for this lecture. As many times I have told you, that is for your own benefit. All right. So let's start with the previous one. Like in the previous lecture, when we had started the topic of role of various factors that basically promoting the national integration. So basically we discussed the role of education in the national integration. All right. That was a thing. And basically in this we have seen the influence of the educators. Okay. Before and after the independence, that basically played a crucial role in shaping of the young minds and fostering a sense of national unity. We have discussed about the historical figures and the slogans. Over the time, the iconic historical figures and slogans have become the ingrained in the collective consciousness, promoting the national identity. Thereafter, we have discussed about the NCERT syllabus. So this lecture, we will start with a question that we had already discussed in the previous lecture, like what is the full form of NCERT? Okay, this is the most basic question that anybody can ask you. So again, I will give the same time, and now I'm expecting the right answer from all of you. So your time starts now. Ten seconds have been passed off. Last 20s are remaining. Okay, the 10 seconds remaining. All right, the time's up. So NCERT stands for the National Center for Education Research and Training. Right? Wrong. Why? Because there is no center in the full form. The basic form is National Council for Education Research and Training. All right. Now let's move forward. Thereafter, another roles that the education plays here is that further the education and the relocation. Okay, education and the relocation. So here you can say, like, if we talk about anybody who is living in this country, okay, in pursuance of the education at higher level, at competitive exam level, okay, or you can say education in the bachelor's and the master fields. So is it possible that each and every individual collects the education on the form he want at the same place. Is it possible? No. Why? Because every institute is having its own, you can say, specialty in certain areas. Okay. So basically, you can say in order to persuade the higher educations and all, people or the student generally got relocated. For example, if someone belonged to the state of Uttar Pradesh, he wants to crack the exam like JE and NEET. All right. So what is the preference choice he should make? At the first, what comes in his mind? Which place name? The place is very famous. Even there is a web series of this place. Okay, so now you are required to tell me the name that will be show your public awareness nowadays. Okay, 30 seconds I will give you to name the place name and the state. Then I will give you the answer. Your time will start now. Just think about the place. This is very famous. 10 seconds have been passed. Last 20s are remaining. Last 10 seconds. Okay, the time's up. The place name is Kota. Kota in Rajasthan. Okay, even there is a web series, very famous web series on the OTT platform of Netflix named as Kota Factory. It's having the three seasons: season 1, season 2, and season 3. All right. So basically, if someone is preparing for the JEE and NEET exams, generally they will relocate themselves. Similarly, if someone preparing for the exams like the UPSC exam, civil services exam, then generally they prefer to get relocated at New Delhi or the Allahabad and all. Okay. So education and relocation also formulates a goal in the national integration. Why? Why? How it will be? Like in the, you can say, since the starting, basically we are talking about the sense of harmony. We are talking about that individuals should understand irrespective of the differences or diverse backgrounds they belong. Okay, they must understand that another person is having the value in the terms of economy, society and all. Okay, so how this could be done? How? So this could be done only when the people will communicate with each other, when the people will live with each other. So if someone is belong to the state of Karnataka, okay, he never met anyone who belongs to the state of Uttar Pradesh, north side. So what do you think? Will he have any kind of coordination, communication, understanding with the northern peoples? Definitely not. Similarly, if someone belongs to the state of Uttar Pradesh, he never met someone from Karnataka or the Kannada people, then when the people who speak Kannada, when they will migrate to the northern states, then only the communication will begin. No? If they haven't migrated, the person who is living in the state of Uttar Pradesh never meet someone like this. What do you think? Will he have any kind of communication, coordination, harmony, and all? No. So this relocation basically relocate the people from here and there, one people from one state to another state, and this brings the cultural change, cultural exchange we basically say, language exchange we basically say, and this basically contributes to the economy. Why? Because suppose if I am a person who belong to a different state, you are the person who belong to a different state. When in pursuit of the education you come to my state, you required a place where you could reside. So you are living in the place of mine for which I am charging a fee from you. So the fee that I am charging from you is the income that I am getting. So here I have generated a economic interest. Okay, like I am generating an income. You is generating the social interest. Why? Because you are getting the home, you are getting the roof on your top. Okay, so that's why the education and relocation are important. So we can say pursuing of higher education often requires a student to relocate the across countries, like I have told you, encouraging them to look beyond their localities, their caste, or the religious affiliations. Like you can say, if you are living in the state of, you can say Tamil Nadu. Okay, you're living there. Then suddenly you have developed an interest in the northern music. Okay, or you can say the Punjabi music. So, is it possible that while living in the state of Kerala, you will be able to grasp the Punjabi music properly? Is it possible? No. Similarly, if you're living in the state of Punjab and you developed an idea in the Malabar music or the Carnatic, sorry. So, is it possible that while living in a Punjab, you will understand or you will, you can say, study the Malayali music and all? No. So, basically, you are required to look beyond your localities. Okay, that will be a thing. Similarly, with the caste, if you belong to the A caste, when you relocate to the another city, the person who is offering you a place to live in is belong to the B caste. So, would you look for the room so that you could live, or will you look for the caste he belongs to? Ultimately, you will look at the room. So, the caste will be eliminated here. Religious affiliation, he belongs to a different religion, you belong to a different religion. So, what you will say? You will deny to get a room? No, you will allow. Similarly, if I'm a landlord and you are the tenant, you are searching for the room. I belong to the certain religion, you belong to the another religion. I will not deny to give the room to you. Why? Because you are the income for me. Okay, so that are the things. And the prominent universities like the University of Delhi University, okay, Jamia Millia Islamia, that is also in the, you can say, Delhi, Osmania University. So these are the certain universities that basically attracts the students who belong to the different regions, and this fostering a pan-Indian mindset. Why? Because here whosoever come for the studies, they all are the students. If they are the students, what is implies? It implies that they will be belonging to the groups of young people, young minds. Okay, and when they will cooperate with each other, when they will operate with each other, then ultimately the cultural and the ethnic barriers that we normally make in our society, these will be eliminated or removed. Okay, so that's why the education and relocation are important in order to fulfill the dream of national integration. Because as I have told you, people will not do the thing until or unless they having their own interest in here. They're relocating to the other regions. Why? Because they having the interest. They want that quality of education that is providing there. All right, when they cooperate, when they speak, when they operate with other people who belong to the different areas, different backgrounds. So why they do so? Because they know they are required to live with them for a certain time period. So it will be good if they will generate a friendship nature with them. All right. After this, access to the higher education. So if we talk about it, we can say, although the enrollment in the higher education institution in India remains relatively low. Why? Because of the access. Okay, why? Because not everyone is having the sufficient resources to move towards the prominent colleges, prominent universities that we have in the country, in the prominent cities. Why? Because suppose if someone is from the areas of Chhattisgarh and all, okay, please do not get offense, but it is reality. Why? Because as I've told you, we here will not talk about the moral, we will not talk about the ideal situations, but we will take the situation as in reality. Okay, so if we talk about it, so the states of, you can say, the Chhattisgarh and all the tribal areas here, so these do not having that much of resources. Okay, so what they generally do, they generally have to, you can say, migrate to the other areas like the Delhi NCR, like the Mumbai hinterlands and all. Okay, so basically these areas are also costly. So you can say, suppose if some student who belong to the tribal area, his family is belong to the tribal areas, so obviously might be they will have a sufficient resources for their livelihood, but might be not. So if not, then it is hard for them to even survive. What do you think? He will be able to come to the states like Delhi, to come to the area like Delhi, which is costly for him? No. Okay. So that's why most of the students do not get enroll themselves. Why? Because in the area they are living in, that do not having that much of quality of education, and the area where they will get it, so they do not have the resources to go there. These are the conditions. So only 12 to 13% of the population of, you can say, student population is having the access to the educations, higher educations, basically in the prominent colleges and all. And that's why various efforts are being made through the private universities and the government initiatives, so that we could increase the accessibilities and popularity of higher education. So you will say that the private universities will look after their profit. Why they will promote the education for those who could not afford it? Why they will invest their efforts? Why they will invest their resources and time? So basically, you can say here we are not talking about the private universities that are prominent. Okay, here we are talking about opening of private universities in those areas where these type of universities are not existed. So you can say if we will establish a university, although it is a private university in the area like the Chhattisgarh tribal area, okay, and the education that the university is provided is of that quality that he will get in the Delhi University, Jamia Millia Islamia and all. So what do you think? The person has no need to move out. Okay, so that's how the private universities plays an important role. Okay, thereafter, inclusive education system. Okay, so here you can say the word inclusive implies a different meaning. Okay, for example, we can say, just take an example. Suppose if the population is of 100 crores, if the population is of the 100 crores, out of this, in 1 year, only the 20 crore students is having the access to the education system. Okay, on the other year, 30 crore students is having the access to the education. Okay, if you will look at it, what you will conclude? You will conclude that yes, there is a enhancement in the enrollment. That is true. 10 crore students have enrolled themselves, but can you call it as an inclusive education system? And if, then how? And if you are saying this is not an inclusive system, then how you can say it? That is a question. How you can do it? Okay, so I will give you the 30 seconds to think. Okay, to formulate an idea to speak, then I will give you the answer correctly. Okay, so 30 seconds you have. Time starts now. Just think and try to formulate an answer. Last 20 seconds are there. Okay, last 10 seconds. All right, the time's up. So basically, if we will say that this is an inclusive education system, and if we say this is not, then first, instead of checking the data, we have to check the statistics. Okay, the data is showing the encouragement, but the statistics will show the clear picture. Like the students who got enrolled, the 10 crore students who got enrolled in the education system or get an access to the education system, they belong to the which categories? If each and every category that we have in the society is having the reflection in those 10 crore students, then we can say yes, it is an inclusive education system. It means yes, those who are vulnerable, those who are depressed, those who are marginalized, they are also getting encouragement to the education system. But if we say out of these 10 crores, only those who having the easy access, they are encouraging, but those who do not having the access, they are not encouraging. So Will we call it the inclusive system? No, we will call it as an non-inclusive education system. So always remember this thing in your mind. An inclusive education system is a system that help the integrate people who belong to the diverse culture, okay, and marginalized backgrounds into the national mainstream. So if we are trying to make the education accessible, then we should not only focus on those who are already in the national mainstream because they already getting the access. But instead of them, we must prioritize the access to them who not getting the education or the access to the education and are not representing themselves in the mainstream of the nation. So they will be a inclusive education system. After this, there is a vision of Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, who believed that providing the right education to everyone could be primary solution to various societal challenges. Why? Because as I have told you, education is basically provided when the person is young, when he is having the ability to develop the thoughts, okay, to making the perception and all. On that time, if you hit him with the right education, what will happen? His entire mechanism, mental mechanism, will automatically working right, and that could be a primary solutions to all societal challenges. Why? Because the next generation or the upcoming generation is already trained mentally with the aim of the national integration. So automatically the societal challenges that we are facing with the old or the current generation, that will be removal. Why? Because they that will not have the continuous in the upcoming time. Okay. After this, the role of press, media, the MNCs in the national integration. Okay, what are these roles? So here you can say there is a press, there is a media, there is MNC. Okay, so the first you are required to tell me the full form of MNC. Like what is the full form of MNCs? You have heard about them many times. Okay, so now you are required to tell me the full form. For this, you will have the 30 seconds to think and answer. Then I will give you the answer. All right. So your time starts now. 10 seconds have been passed. Last 20s are remaining. Last 10 seconds. All the times up. So MNCs basically stands out for multinational companies. What are the MNCs? What are the multinational companies? So you can say name any randomly company in your locality. Okay, any local company. Or let me give you an example. Suppose there is a company called XYZ. Okay, XYZ is having the presence in the state of Gujarat, in the state of Tamil Nadu, in the state of Jammu and Kashmir, Haryana, and all. So what we call it? We will call it as a national company. Why? Because in nation it is having the presence on various states. If we will take the example of any other company, like the company name is ABC. The company name of ABC is basically the company is registered in a state of India, sorry, in the country of India, but having its presence in India, America, United Kingdom, Brazil, Antarctica. Sorry, Argentina, not Antarctica. All right. So what we will say? We will say this will be a MNC company. So we can say an MNC company is an corporation that is registered in certain country, but having its presence in the various countries. Okay, that is a thing. So here, if we're talking about the MNCs, the similar thing is basically clicking in my mind. That is what we call it MSME. MSME. So now just tell me the full form of MSME. What is the full form of MSME? For this, again, you will have the 30 seconds to think and answer. Time starts now. Last 20 seconds are there. Last 10 seconds. Okay, the time is going to be up. Time's up. So MSME basically stands for micro, small, and medium enterprises. Again, I'm repeating micro, small, and medium enterprises, MSME. Got it? So basically, if we talk about their role, so first is the press and media. First is the press and media. So we can say the press has been instrumental in building the idea of unified India even before the independence. Okay. Since then, it has grown significantly as an institution, that gaining the considerable freedom due to the constitutional guarantees like the freedom of speech and expression. And from the printing press, radio, and television to the social media, the press has contributed immensely to the evolving integration of the people, reflecting the aspiration and ideas of each generation. Why? Because the press are not only providing the news and the updates, but what kind of news, what kind of updates they are providing to us, that also matters. Okay, like if they are providing us the news regarding the harmony programs, like I think the programs regarding the events where all the segments of society working together, then what we will get? We'll get the harmonious approach. Instead of this, if we are getting the updates regarding the communal clashes, riots, okay, curfews, then what will happen? Ultimately, we will start making our mindset accordingly. We will say that in this society in which we are living in, there is almost a conflict, there is almost a situation that is not good for the social harmony. Ultimately, our perception will be made like this. All right. So whatsoever media's cover and whatsoever we are seeing on media, that is basically formulates a base like how we will perceive the things. After this, institutions. Okay. So the important institutions like the State Bank of India, like the postal services, like the Doordarshan, like the All India Radio, have been crucial in promoting the inclusivity and unified national identity. The State Bank of India is almost having the branch of it in every region, irrespective of the ethnicity, custom, religion, and all. Postal services serving each and every individual, irrespective of the discriminations. Doordarshan is showing the programs belonging to each and every community. All India Radio is basically providing the news without any descriptions. So that's how these areas are basically providing the sense of national integration amongst us. Okay. So students, basically in this lecture, we have covered till here. In the next lecture, we will continue from here. Till then, just revise the facts and figures that all we have discussed in this lecture and be ready for the another lecture. With this note, let's end this lecture and thank you.